Good morning, 5C. Okay, so today, besides learning about the importance of using electricity safely and wisely, we will also be continuing to go through the review paper one, which we did in term one. During the April HPL, we have already finished all the MCQs, question 1 to 15. So for today, we'll do the structured question, question 16 to 18. And then after that, on Friday, we'll complete the remaining 3 open-ended questions. Right, so let's start with question 16. This is page 12 of your review paper. So question 16 requires you to write T for true and F for statements that are false. So T is for true, T is for true statement, F is for false statement. So let's see, is there any problem with any of which part? Let's see the following statements, which one is correct and which one is wrong. Okay, and then if it's wrong, we figure out which part is wrong as well. Right, so we see here blood only transport oxygen. So this is the key part that they're talking about. Blood transport only oxygen to all parts of our body. Is it true that it transport only oxygen? Okay, this is actually false. Okay, because not just only oxygen, it also transport carbon dioxide. Okay, and many other things. So besides oxygen, the useful stuff it transports is things like your water, things like your digested food. Okay, of course, waste material as well, and carbon dioxide. So blood doesn't only transport oxygen, it transport a lot of other things like your water, digested food, carbon dioxide, and waste material. Okay, so let's try to put them together like this. Okay, I'll put it over here like that. Okay, so it's not just oxygen, there are more than that. There is also water, digested food, waste material, and carbon dioxide. So this statement is false. Blood carries carbon dioxide and waste material away. Okay, so let's highlight this part. Carries two things, carries carbon dioxide, okay, carries waste material, like what we said above, away from our body parts. Okay, so the keyword here I want to circle it is the word away. So blood carries oxygen, digested food, and water to our body, to our parts of our body, and as it leaves our different parts of our body, it also carries carbon dioxide and waste material away, which is true. Okay, so this is true. So this is T. Okay, so this statement is totally true. Our heart works only when we are awake. So when we sleep, our heart stop. So this is obviously wrong. When we sleep, the heart still continues pumping. So this is false. And last one, our heart has to pump blood faster. So let's highlight this. Our heart has to pump blood faster to the muscles when we exercise. Correct. Remember we did an experiment when we exercise, our heart rate goes up, increases. So when we exercise, our heart needs to pump blood faster. Correct. True. So this is true. Okay, so it's false, true, false, true. Okay, so with that, let's go on to question 17. Okay, um, I made this model. I think we have seen this model before in term one. The diagram shows the model that she made. Okay, so I have a rubber stopper, I have a glass tube. So once you see this diagram, try to link it to what you have learned about the human respiratory system. Okay, remember this glass tube, what does it represent? This actually represents the windpipe. Okay, this rubber sheet is actually representing the diaphragm, but we didn't, for foundation, we didn't really go into the specific what's the diaphragm for and everything, but we know that it's essential that the diaphragm is there or else the lungs cannot expand and cannot become smaller as we breathe out. Okay, so the glass tube represents the windpipe, the rubber sheet represents the diaphragm, and of course these balloons will represent the uh, lungs. Okay, so this balloon represents the lungs. So every time when we pull the diaphragm down, if you remember, the balloon actually expand, and when we release the diaphragm or the rubber sheet, the balloon becomes smaller, deflated. Okay, so based on the above diagram, the organ system, okay, we are talking about the organ system. Remember, you only learn 5 systems in primary until primary 5. Okay, you learn about the skeletal system, muscular system, the digestive system, the circulatory system, and the respiratory system. Okay, so which organ system of these five that you are representing here? Obviously, this is about air, so this is about respiratory system. Okay, so it is not a circulatory system, obviously. It's not a muscular, it's not a skeletal, it's not a digestive system. So, of course, this one with the windpipe, diaphragm, and lungs tells you that this must be the respiratory system, right? So, in the table below, name the parts of the organ system represented by the objects used in the model above. So, as I said before in class, once you understand the diagram, the answers for foundation is quite straightforward. So, the glass tube represents the windpipe. Okay, while the balloons represent the lungs. Okay, remember your respiratory system made of three key parts: your nose, your windpipe, and your lungs. Okay, so glass tube is your windpipe as identified earlier, balloons as your lungs. Okay, so straightforward. Let's go on. Okay, question 18. This is the last question that we're going to go through today before we move on to open-ended question on Friday. Okay, so this shows the organ system. I have this, and this. Okay, firstly, identify all the parts of the system. This is actually the gullet. Okay, and B is actually the stomach. C is actually the small intestine. Stare carefully, you realize it is the small intestine. And D is actually the large intestine. Okay, so A gullet, B stomach, C small intestine, D large intestine. So once you understand this, you'll know that this system is actually called the digestive system. So let's put it in capital letter. Okay, so once you know this system and the different parts, obviously you will know what system it is. It's the digestive system. Okay, so name the parts A and B. A is the gullet. Okay, do not mix up with the windpipe. And B is the stomach. Okay, so it's quite straightforward for structured questions. Okay, now go to the bottom. In the table below, identify C and D based on their function. So, I mean, based on the diagram, you can identify, but let's say I want to identify based on the function. Absorbs water from undigested food. We know this must be the large intestine. So large intestine, this will be D. Okay, because we know that, let me just highlight, we know that the function of removing the part that removes water for undigested food, this one must be the large intestine. And we know large intestine is D. So from the function, you link to what you know about the parts of the system that does the particular function, and then you link to the alphabet that represent it. And then after that, the last one, absorbing digested food. We know that in the human digestive system, the part that absorbs digested food must be the small intestine. And therefore, small intestine is organ C. Okay, so very straightforward question. Structure is always like that. It's quite straightforward. Just as long as you understand what's happening, you can get the marks quite easily. Okay, so we'll leave question 19, 20, and 21 to Friday. So as you go through the questions through the video, please make sure you do the corrections on the hard copy review paper 1. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.